Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
What I would like to tell the general public, instead of spending so much time listening to these political hacks and these people that are put in certain positions with power that really haven't got a clue what's going on, instead of listening to them, start doing a little bit of research. Read the other side of the page instead of just the front page.
And that's exactly what we're doing here at The Rebel, bringing you the other side of the story. Now that I'm back home and I have had a chance to tune into the mainstream coverage of the rally that happened in St. Thomas on Saturday, I wanted to share with you, our Rebel viewers, just what I found. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini, pointing out the selective reporting techniques of the mainstream media. So while Global News sat back and wrote 2 sentences on the rally, the angle taken seems to be one of highlighting division and exclusion. These are the same mainstream media outlets that cover and promote racial social justice protests and cry unity and inclusivity. And in response to a continually peaceful, respectful protest that ignored the aggressive counter-protester slurs and name-calling attacks, this is the kind of perverted reporting the public receives. Then to somehow highlight that police are collecting evidence to, fine people for peaceful assembly? Well, here at Rebel News, we'll be following that development closely. Now, I was hopeful that CTV would have some accurate reporting when I saw their cameraman on the scene interviewing Pastor Hildebrandt. Sadly, it doesn't appear much better. Again, they highlight only the counter-protest sentiment and the threat of Tanya Calvert of St. Thomas Police Service, who is quoted as saying that the police, who by the way did an absolutely stand-up job at keeping the protesters safe and assisting in traffic control for the march to the Cenotaph, are, quote, collecting evidence today, and in consultation with the Crown Attorney's Office, we will review evidence that we have for prosecution and see if we can move forward. Another factor worth pointing out here were the businesses that decided to close completely this day for fear of business? Here's what one protester had to say about small businesses.
There's a lot of business owners that are actually against the lockdowns, but they're too afraid to come out and actually speak their mind, because the other half of our community right now is pretty much actively trying to smear everybody that's part of the Freedom Rally. You know, there's nobody coming together right now. There's a really strong divide in our community.
And here's what another protester had to say about the reporting continually seen by the mainstream media and local mayor's response to the Freedom Rally. What do you say to the St. Thomas mayor who urged some businesses to close today in detest of this gathering?
Well, just more propaganda from mainstream media. There's nothing to be afraid of here, folks. Just don't listen to them, mainstream media.
The mainstream narrative seems to put the onus on these protesters for the business closures when who is really responsible for instilling this fear on small businesses? Peaceful protesters who didn't go near the downtown? Or could it be the bullying and coercive actions of public health units across Ontario, threatening fines and closures to anyone who doesn't enforce their mandate? Or what about accountability from the mainstream media for publishing vilified reports that fuel division between us versus them, and the endless promotion of a culture of fear while completely ignoring the entire basis of these protests, which aren't simply anti-mask, but rather anti-lockdown, highlighting that the fallout of the lockdown is much worse than the virus itself. They want to prioritize democratic debate to find tangible solutions to assess the overall societal effects of the alleged pandemic, while demanding government accountability and insisting on accurate data so that the people can use their own discernment to assess the risk versus the benefit to navigate how to live their own life. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. If you're a small business and you face bankruptcy or closure due to the lockdowns that are unsupported by data or evidence-based decision-making, we would like to hear from you. Head on over to iwillopen.com and get in touch with us today. Share your story. Let us know what you're up against. We want to hear from the businesses who are fed up and have had enough. That's iwillopen.com.